Hi, how's it going? Good morning, afternoon, evening, night, whatever time of day it is for you. For me, it's evening. Regardless, hi, Asia. Today we will be talking about failing, specifically in academic courses, specifically in college, because that is where I did a lot of failing. I have notes down here. If I look down, that is why. In my elementary, middle, high school years, I was a good student. I was a really good student. I was a good student. I had like A's and B's pretty much in all my classes. Maybe like, I think I might have got 2 B minuses or something. I don't know, but I was a decent student. However, I never really learned how to study because I didn't have to learn how to study, because I was really good at regurgitating. So I could look at a homework assignment, do the homework assignment, go to a test, duplicate the things that I did on the homework assignment, and then get passing grades. So for me, studying never was like a thing that I learned how to do, because I didn't need to do it, and it didn't need to be enforced because I was doing fine in my classes. So going into college, I was under this notion, and some people may call it a special snowflake. I call it a special snowflake because that was me. I was special snowflake. And a special snowflake, I don't know if it's like an actual definition, but the definition I'm using is someone who goes into a new academic setting. So say starts high school, starts community college, starts, some new stage. And they say, I've done something similar to this before. I don't really need to work hard. I'll just do what it does, do what it do. And I'm just going to leave it, it's going to be great. I'm going to get a 4.0. I'm going to pass all my classes. It's going to be wonderful. So that was kind of my mindset going into my first year at the University of Michigan. So I chose to go to a summer bridge program. So I spent 6 weeks the summer before my freshman year taking academic classes. So for me, that looked like Calculus 1. We had like a science-esque class and just some other like professional and academic skill building things of the sort. So I attended one of these sessions or programs, and they taught us effective ways to study, the things that you should do for your classes. They even gave us like the first month and a half of the class that we would be taking, the math class that we would be taking, the actual first semester. Side note, this program, we didn't get our credits for the classes that we took. We got paid. So pros and cons, but we took the class without taking the class. So after the 6-week program, I had a brief general idea of what college would look like academically and professionally and all that good stuff. I, the special snowflake, didn't think that I really needed to pay attention in these classes because, like I said, I thought I could walk in and, just do what it do and pass with flying colors. It didn't happen. I started off my freshman year, it was the end of August, right before whichever holiday is at the beginning of September. I think it's Labor Day. Yeah, I think it's Labor Day. And I was having fun, meeting, I didn't meet new people, but hanging out with the friends that I made in my summer program, starting my classes, getting, not a head start, but, beginning my first year of college. It was a good time, I guess. However, I did a lot of time talking to my friends and not looking at textbooks. And then my grades started to reflect that, which is rude, but that's what happens. And I think it was like the first few quizzes or maybe the first test or so that I had in my courses, and I realized that like I was not getting A's. Like I was doing the same method that I had been doing before, doing the homework, kind of understanding what's going on there, going to the test, duplicating it, and the duplication wasn't duplicating, the math wasn't mathing. It was not working. However, I had never had to ask for help before. So one, I didn't know how to ask for help. I didn't know who to ask for help for. And to be honest with you, I had a whole lot of pride wrapped up in that I don't need to study. I don't need to do all these things that other people need to do to be successful. I did. But yeah, so I had a whole lot of pride wrapped up in the idea that I didn't need to study or go to office hours or any of the sort of things that it seemed like everyone else was doing. So I just kind of, which is awful, I kind of ignored it. And I said, you know, these first couple quizzes, tests, homework assignments, they're not looking too hot. But obviously, it's me. I can just turn it around. Like I'll just go to class one day and then I'll have a, it's fine, it's whatever. And at the same time, I was or in the process of joining a cheerleading type group, except for it was just the part where you lift people up. It's called a stunt group, if you care. But I was in the process of joining one of those teams. And we had practices in the evenings, which cut into my study time, which you would think I would stop going to the practices and study. Didn't want to do that. So at a practice that I probably shouldn't have been at in the first place, I got into an accident. I don't think it's technically anyone's fault, but it happened. So someone else hit my head, and then I had a black eye and a broken cheekbone and broken jawbone. It was real ugly. But I had never broken a bone or anything. I was kind of like shaken because one, my face hurt a lot. And I'm not a crier, and I really don't like other people seeing me crying. But it hurt really bad. And the only thing that I wanted to do was cry. So I sat there and I was like, this is fine. It's fine. Actually, I think I walked into a corner and started crying. And so one of the perks of living close to home or going to school close to home is that your parents are close to home. If you have parents or guardians or, whatever, whoever is there that supports you. Yeah, for me, it was my parents. They were only about 30 minutes away. So I called them crying at 10 o'clock at night, telling them that I kind of broke my face. And they came up to the place that I was at because I had driven there, so someone needed to take my car because I wasn't driving. I wasn't doing anything. And I broke down to my mom on the way back to my parents' house about how I was failing all my classes, which I kind of was. And this was about mid-October, I think, because I think we were about to go on break. But how I was failing all my classes, how I didn't know how to fix the fact that I was failing because I had never failed in this capacity before. I mean, other things like sports, sure, it's fine. But academically, that was supposed to be my strong suit, and it was no longer becoming my strong suit. And so I just started crying. I was sobbing, like uncontrollably sobbing. My face also hurt, but it was mostly the fact that I didn't know how to fix what was going on. And I didn't know if I could fix what was going on. Because I had gotten into this school and I was so I don't know if I was excited, but I got into the school and I was expected to continue to do well. And I was not continuing to do well. And that was really hard for me to say to someone who expected or presumed that I was doing well and who'd never had to ask, are you doing well with your classes? Because I always was, or for the most part, I mostly was. And so from there, we developed a plan where I was going to go to office hours and find tutoring or people that would help with tutoring, different study groups, things of the sort, and actually go to these things because the resources were there. I just wasn't going to them. And I knew about them. I just didn't go because I didn't want to. So I started going to those. Luckily, that semester, it ended up turning things around. I don't know what kind of grades I got that semester, but they weren't pretty. They were passing, but not pretty. The following semester, my friends had a different schedule than me, so whenever like our normal free time was, they were in class. And so I had nothing to do besides study. So I was studying for like, I think the class is like 3 hours long or something like that. So I was studying every day for 3 hours because they had class and I had nothing to do, which was great for my academics, and it was fine. So that semester I did very well academically. However, even though I had the tools, so I had the office hours, I knew about different study groups that I could join. I knew that I could go to office hours if need be with my instructors or my professors or my teaching assistants, whoever. I had all these resources, and yet I continued to just like do so bad. Like it was quite bad. It was very bad. And you know, for some classes I went to office hours. For some classes I tried to get tutoring or do different study groups and things of the sort. But it didn't always work out. Now, to be fair, I could have put in a whole lot more effort. But I like talking, as you can probably tell. And so I did a whole lot more talking than I did like actually looking at the material when I was in the study group. So maybe study groups weren't the best for me. However, regardless, I still didn't know how to study on my own. Like I knew how to learn how to do my homework, or if someone gave me practice problems, I could work on those with them, but I didn't know how to pick up a book and just study it. Still don't know how to do that, but you know, regardless. I say this to say, just because I had been given the keys to success, if you want to call it that, my grades didn't automatically and magically get better. It's not like that first semester was the only semester that I did poorly. I think I did poorly every semester except for maybe 2 after that. But you know, there's a lot of other factors into that: depression, anxiety, undiagnosed learning disabilities. It's not learning disabilities, undiagnosed learning disabilities. Yeah, that's mostly it. So there were other factors that were going on that did, you know, sometimes make it a little bit more difficult, and we'll talk about those later. But even though I knew the steps to take, I didn't always take them. What is the point of this? The point of this is to talk about failing. We're just gonna try and add like a conclusion to this, and maybe it'll make sense. I don't know, because I'm just sort of talking. Oh, I should have prayed. Lord, help me. I don't know what I'm saying. After my first year, I had like 3.5 years. Yeah, 3.5 years left, unbeknown at that time, but ended up being 3.5 years left of finishing my bachelor's degree. And I still failed a lot and often. I took several classes multiple times. I even got kicked out of a major, which is that's a whole story in itself. If you want to hear that, let me know. But got kicked out of majors. That was hurt my self-esteem as well, because who kicks me out of major? They did. So I got kicked out of a major, had to switch my major. I think it was my junior year by that point. So my third year of being in college, had to do it's more like a 90-degree turn, but switch paths, and pursue something different than what I thought that I wanted to pursue. And even there, I failed multiple classes. I failed the intro classes once. Like, they have 100 level classes, which is for like first year students, and they have 200 level classes, which is normally for second year students, but it's like the second tier of classes. I don't know. Second tier makes more sense. So second tier classes within a specific major program. I don't know if any of this is making sense, but we're just gonna keep talking. So I failed the second tier, so the 200 level classes. I think I failed all of them once. I think I failed them all once, at least. Maybe not one, but I think I failed all of them once. There was one class in my major that I failed twice. Third time was the charm. I failed several classes in the third tier, so like the 300 level classes, failed several of those. Some of these classes I was going to tutoring and office hours and study groups when they had them. But it was never the first time that I was taking the class that I went to those. And then the second time that I started going to those, that's when I passed classes. Ironic, isn't it? It's not like I had all the tools in my hand and I said, nah. So it's fine. I say all this to say, one, failing is not a bad thing if you get back up. You can get back up and choose to take, pursue the same path. So like me, failing in class twice and then taking it for the third time, or failing in class once, taking it again. Or there are other options like not doing as well as you wanted to do in a class or something and switching majors if that is something that you want to do. But this is really more for encouragement and saying, you are not alone. If you are sitting there and you're failing a class, you're not alone. There are more people than you think that probably aren't doing as well in a course, but people don't really tell you that. You don't go to class and people don't really talk about how they're not doing well. They'll just talk about how they're doing well. So you're not alone. I was there several times, many classes, plenty of times. You will be okay. I promise you that. It is difficult, it is hard, and it does hurt. Sometimes a lot. However, you can still do it. If no one else believes in you, I believe in you. Just know that. I don't know you. I may know you. I might not know you. But I believe in you. And I'll be praying for you. Just so you know. You can do it. Please use your resources. If you take nothing else from this video. One, you can do it. I believe in you. You're not the only person who's failed a class. I failed too many classes. If I have a number of classes that I failed, put it up here. I'll actually put it up here. So we're gonna number of classes that I failed right there. Secondly, please use your resources. If there are office hours, please go to your office hours. I had some instructors who were really excited and were begging students to come and sit with them during their office hours so they could talk about the material, because they chose that material for a reason. They enjoy it. They want to talk to you. So they say. I'm not a professor yet, if ever, but yeah, for now. That is their job. Their job is to help you learn. They're quite literally getting paid for it. So you might as well. So go to office hours. Secondly, if there are tutoring, preferably free options. Free options are good. Go to tutoring. It's okay to ask questions. It is scary, I will admit. It's very scary, and it does take a lot of, like, you gotta eat a big old slice of humble pie to sit there and say, I need help. It is helpful, and there are people who know what they're talking about, and if they signed up to tutor people, most of the time don't have anything better to do. I tutor, which is why I say this. They most likely don't have anything better to do at that specific time. So you might as well, because they want you to learn. Because I want everyone who I tutor to learn. That's really my goal. I want them to eventually enjoy the subject that they're learning. What else? Study groups. Study groups are very helpful. I would recommend studying with people who have taken the class before, or who know the course material very well, and not just your friends, because I did just my friends and all I did was talk. They learned. I just talked. Studying with people who will keep you accountable is very helpful. Let's see, tutoring, office hours, study guide, or study group. Yeah, I think those are like the main three. So points. 1, so you're not alone, bro. I failed so many classes and almost failed plenty of classes, like 0.1%. And 2, please use your resources. They're resources for a reason. They are scary, but they will help you. I promise you'll be okay. As always, if you have any questions, there's a comment box down below. I don't know why I put my hand in front of my face, but I'm not re-recording that. So if you want to ask a question, send some advice to some other people. If you have any tips on things that you did or have done, or things that work well, or things that you know, any advice really, leave that as well. Leave some advice to people in the future, or now, or whenever anybody watches this, regardless. Leave some advice or questions in the comments. Feel free to, I guess, DM me, but not in that way, but like, if you have a question but you don't want to post it, because I don't post comments on YouTube because I get scared. So if you don't want to do that, feel free to DM me, because might as well. If it's appropriate, I'll answer. So, or email me. I do also have an email. I don't know if you can see the email though, and I don't remember what it is. I would say it, but if I can find, or if I feel like looking up the email, find it there. I don't have any other words for this topic. If you have, or well, I guess I already said that. If you have questions, let me know. But truly, do let me know. I like talking to people, as you can probably tell, because I'm still talking. If you made it to the end, thank you. I appreciate you. Go you. Have a great day. Have a great week, a month, year, the rest of your life. Be blessed.